Hey guys, I'm Molly Sanier. It's Monday night and it's Throwing with Molly. It's episode 36 and I'm so excited for this episode because, guys, my guest right here is my college ceramics teacher. She's really the first ceramics teacher I even remember. We were kind of chatting earlier at what point of my college ceramics education was she my teacher, but she's the only one I remember. So I'm so excited. Oh, and she's like the liaison for NSYNCA coming to Richmond in 2020. So I'm so excited. So welcome her out, Kerr. Kerr. Yay! Hey. Yes, Kelly's here, guys. Cheers, Kelly. Thank you so much for coming.
Oh,
this has been a dream.
I'm excited to be here.
Yes.
I've been watching you.
Have you?
Yeah, I'm very impressed with what you've done. You know, your skills with working with clay and teaching and getting out on social media, which is a skill in itself.
Oh, you're sweet, Kelly. You're so sweet. I feel like really, I had another ceramics teacher, and I asked Kelly. I said, I know there's another guy at JMU that taught, but I don't remember him. I remember Kelly. Kelly is here. Thank you again for coming. Cheers.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
So guys, tonight I've decided I'm going to throw some open bottom cylinders that I'm going to make some sculptures with later. Kelly, what are you going to make? Oh, look, my dad's on. Just love those cups. Where can I get one?
Cheers.
Cheers, Frank.
I think I'm going to make a cup, since it seems to be the theme.
Yes, and I use these wider holes out here.
Gotcha.
And let me just make sure that the screw is a little tightened, because y'all know if you watch, the screw comes loose. Okay. Guys, Kelly is my ceramics teacher. I love her, and she's here.
It was, okay, we were trying to figure out how long ago.
Yeah, I graduated at JMU in 2005. My first signed pots are 2004.
Okay.
Because I would sign with a needle tool and the year.
Yes.
Which I frown upon now.
The signing?
The needle tool.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
It's not.
You gotta get your own way of marking your work, you know.
So in one thing, so many things, Kelly. I don't even know where to start. But I was telling Kelly, I felt like I was a really bad art student because at JMU, everybody had a lot of fun. Like, I was having a lot of fun, but I was also an art education major, so I took the minimum ceramic classes.
Right.
Like, I wasn't dived in. I took like 12 credits and was a major. But I just didn't feel like I was the best student in my attention to detail, which was a question.
Oh, wow.
Somebody said, and this was my answer. Nope. Where'd it go? Oh, what part of the process have you seen the most growth in, from tried and true? I feel like attention to detail, because I hate detail.
You were going to say something else.
That was it. Attention to detail. I would be the messiest potter. I'm still a messy potter, but I at least like soften things before they get this fired. I didn't always do that.
Well, okay, I'm going to say right now to everyone watching that I've thrown maybe twice in the last 10 years. So we'll see how this goes.
Which was part of what I want to talk about too. So Kelly was my teacher at JMU in 2004, 5, 3, 2.
I want to say maybe 2002 into 2003, maybe, because I think we did a summer semester, and that's when we built
Bonded.
films, and we went to DC and we traveled.
That was over the summer?
I think so. But back to your attention to detail.
Yes.
So
when Kelly said, is this going to be like riding a bike? And look, guys, boom! She centered! It's like riding a bike. I tell my students it's like riding a bike, and look. So, I just love this. Okay.
Okay, I have to scoot up on it.
Scoot up on it. I know we're really close together.
No, that's okay. I like the closeness.
Look, one of my students chimed in and says, hi, Aiden. He says, who's the better teacher? I think Kelly, because she taught me, so I wouldn't know what I would know without Kelly.
Wow, that's a tough question.
Did I call you Kelly? I think I did. Because my students have to call me Miss Sanier.
Yeah, no, I didn't go by Miss Kerr. You could call me Kelly. I studied clay. I have a master's degree in clay from JMU. And I think the reason was I really loved the material and the possibilities with material, I mean, clay can really be anything. And if you go back and think about, it's a big thought, everyone, but think about civilization.
Wait, I've got to turn the music down for this because you're like dropping a nugget.
I am dropping a nugget. Get your
this
notebook out.
This is what I love about Kelly. She's like very zen. Okay, tell us.
When I figured out, when I went to college and I started studying, not just art, but history, and art is really everything. It encompasses everything. I realized that in order for us to move from being like pastoral people, we had to be able to have surplus with our crops, right? So that you can have civilization, you can trade food, you can trade skills. The only way you can save a surplus when you have rodents and snakes is to have ceramics, because they can eat through wicker, they can eat through grass.
They could.
So without the ability to take surplus foods and store them and create trade and commerce, you would not have civilization. So bam!
Oh my gosh, cheers to that. I don't remember that story from my ceramic education.
Well,
that is amazing.
I mean, it's just
basically your welcome world for ceramics. And potters for potters around the world, which everyone can be a potter. I do believe that. Anyone can throw a pot.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody.
Yeah, I mean, we're all kind of born with that creative impulse, and as you become educated, it's kind of like driven away from you.
Or you need to go be a lawyer or a finance or not a maker. But we're all makers in our blood.
Or you can appreciate a pot.
True.
You don't have to make it. You might appreciate, drinking out of it or
handmade.
Okay, so I have longer nails, but that's okay.
That's okay. I have this student who has like those long pointy nails, and it doesn't stop her.
So when Molly was my student.
Oh yeah, tell me about when I was your student. I'm so curious what Kelly thinks of me as a student, because my memory is one thing, so take it away.
We had a really special class. I think part of that was the fact that I knew it was only a 1-year appointment for me.
Which, tell them a little, because I did not know any of that either. Can we start as little Kelly? Like, tell me your story. Like, did you always want to be in arts?
No. I ended up in Harrisonburg because I went to live with a friend, and while I was there, I was thinking like, I should probably take some classes while I'm here, and so it turned out that I took a ceramic class as one of my first classes in college. And
had you drawn before that?
No, I'd never taken an art class.
What?
And I just...
Your first class was at JMU, where you taught?
Yes.
That's cool.
But long story short...
You don't have to make it short. I want to hear it. I want to know.
I realized that, wow, this is a really incredible opportunity to be in an arena where you were encouraged to research and to learn. And you're around all these people that think it's really important to research and to learn. And so I just thought that was phenomenal. And
were you a good student? You liked to learn and you liked all of that? You weren't like a last minute, like, I have a paper, I'll start.
They say education's wasted on the young. That's probably true in some cases, but...
Well, I never heard that phrase. I like it. Open cylinders, that's what I'm throwing, open cylinders for sculptures.
So, it was never my intention to go to college. No one in my family had ever gone to college.
Stop it!
So I started at a very young age working in the hospitality industry.
Okay.
I was a server.
And just a teaser.
A really good server.
You were a really good server. You know who you kind of remind me of? And Kelly does not watch Bravo, so therefore I know she doesn't even know who I'm going to talk about. But for people who watch Bravo and Below Deck, she kind of reminds me of a Kate, which maybe only my sister knows who I'm talking about. Kate, everybody loves Kate.
Cool.
She's like always like running everything, making stuff happen, and with a smile. She's amazing.
There's something about clay and food that clearly goes hand in hand. And so I became a full-time student as a special student. So I took just a few credits for a few years, got good grades, met with a guidance counselor.
Like, what were your good grades? Did you make straight A's?
Close to it. Because I was a little older. I took maybe 4 years off in between high school and college, and I traveled and I worked.
Where'd you travel?
I went to Europe, London, Spain, with my girlfriend Nicole.
Stop!
Did the whole backpack
Like the Eurail?
thing. Yeah,
Eurail. I did that.
No Fumar! I remember saying that, like, don't smoke. There's a sign.
No
like,
Fumar.
I'm stuck in this car with you.
Oh, they don't care.
For like 12 hours, and you're just like...
And their feet.
Yeah, they were feet.
I remember being on a sleep car somewhere in Europe, and the guy powdered his feet.
Yeah.
And then there's like powder footprints on the way to the bathroom.
It was a trip. It was a really good experience. I think traveling is essential. And
Yes.
So it was really great then going to college and realizing out the gate how little I knew about like anything. You know, that was my first.
So you were a good student because you were ready to learn.
Well, I had good teachers. You know, I had teachers that exposed me to things and encouraged me to take risks, and they were okay with me failing.
Like what? What was a failure and a risk?
Well, this is the beauty of ceramics. Like, if you don't do it correctly, if it's too thick, it's going to crack, it's going to blow up, there's an air bubble if you don't take patience. So clay is inherently very unforgiving because it has so much memory. And so I'm trying to think of specific times. You know, I would wait last minute and make something before a critique, and then my professor, Masako Miyata, who's this
Who was like the jam.
Yeah, I mean, you can look her work up.
I never had her.
Her attention to detail was just...
She would have hated me.
No, she did not.
I actually remember being at JMU my freshman year and looking at the ceramics program and being like, this girl seems intense and like real good. But one of my college roommates, who I played club lacrosse, like I went into JMU not thinking art was a major. I didn't even know that. And my college club lacrosse teammate was a photography major with a scholarship. And I was like, what? I did not know you could get a scholarship. I did not know you could major in art. I did not know taking pictures was a major. And then she was walking around with that portfolio, and I'm like, where are you going? She's like, class. I'm like, what are you doing all day? Well, I'm in macroeconomics. She's like, drawing fundamentals. I'm like, what? So I literally signed up for that class, and then...
So she influenced you to pursue
Totally.
art.
Like, I didn't even know about it until I saw her doing it. And then when I saw ceramics was an option, I was like, yeah, let me take a class. Because I always hand-built in elementary school and would, love it. But I never wheel thrown until Kelly.
And I do remember your work. I remember that there were, 3 things that were important to you.
Oh my God, I love this right now. I love this.
It had to be like a fun surface. Like, you wanted to find a fun surface, and it had to be utilitarian, and you had to have pleasure making it. Like, if you
That is still true. That is still true.
So it really pleases me to see the direction your work has gone, because you're moving away from surface, which you're exploring that in your paintings, which is awesome.
Yes.
And now it seems like you're embracing the monochromatic white because it's all about form and function.
Yes, and function.
Everything has a function.
Well, and that was a question we got. My hands are dirty, but what got you into clay?
What got me into clay?
Yeah, what got you into clay?
Gosh.
I mean, you said you had never taken art. You weren't even planning to go to college. You ended up at JMU.
So a friend of mine had taken Masako's beginning ceramic class and said, you should take a ceramic class. And I thought, okay, I'll do whatever. I'm in college. This is like so much fun.
Yes. And JMU is the most fun.
It is. I should share that while I was taking classes, I was also paying for my college and my living expenses by working in restaurants. So
she worked at at JMU, guys. JMU is in the middle of the mountains. The locals were called townies. There was not even a Walmart when I went there. And there was one.
God forbid.
There was one really nice, fancy, the chef was top chef. There's one restaurant in Harrisonburg. right? There's
Yeah.
only one.
Well, if you want to
And
get
it was
dressed up.
Dressed up, but the food was also like high upscale.
Well, I gotta call out Little Grill. It's a great restaurant. There
Well,
was
now,
Luigi's.
Luigi's for
So-
pizza.
And I didn't start at the Wilton. I started at Spanky's, and then I worked at the Grill.
Oh my
And then
gosh.
I worked at like this Club Players, and basically doing whatever you need to do to pay the rent and have money to buy a cute outfit. And but when I did finally get to the point where I was working at the Wilton House, it kind of became more of like a career, in the sense that I could afford.
Should I take this for you?
Yeah.
Are you still playing?
I'm gonna mess
Fun,
around
fun.
with it. It's not a great form, and
Oh my gosh, Kelly hasn't thrown in how many years?
I don't know.
But years, right? Years. And look at her go. Look at her go.
I'm just gonna play a little bit.
Play. I'm making cylinders so I can play later. So guys, if you're tuning in, we are an hour early, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Throwing with Molly. We're doing that now because we started out at 8 because my sister had kids and I wanted her to be here. So I accommodated, but that was late. We get out and it is late. So starting now, 7 p.m. live. See y'all here every Monday. Oh look, somebody's saying, it's so therapeutic watching you make pods. Thanks for watching. This is my college ceramics teacher, Kelly Kerr, or can I say you're of Richmond, Virginia now?
Well, I'm originally from Alexandria, but I am a Virginia born and bred girl. Like, this is where I've always lived. But I came from Northern Virginia. Spent time in Harrisonburg. Have lived in Richmond for what?
A long time.
Yeah, I think 14 years now. 14 or 15 years. But I have to say, when we were in class together,
Yes.
kind of backing up, I knew it was only going to be a year. I took a one-year position because they needed an interim ceramic department head or program head. I forget how JMU is structured. I think it was a program within the art department, and I had just finished up my graduate degree.
Did you crash your pot?
I did.
Okay.
And they had no other options. So they were like, Kelly, can you I was like, sure. I don't have any plan for the next year. But it was a really great experience because my students were so daring and courageous and like, let's try this. And
look at you making your arches.
I am.
We have to talk about that later too. There's so much to talk about. We need like
we're gonna
a 24-hour.
Boy.
Yeah. Oh, everything gets recycled.
But we did that. Did we do the 24
You taught
hour?
me. I have this recycling process. Kelly's not on Instagram, so she doesn't know anything that happens on Instagram.
I might get an Instagram.
You need to get Instagram, but I do this whole clay recycling process. Kelly has no idea, but it's because Kelly taught us that way at JMU. With like arching your clay and letting it dry.
You gotta reuse that.
Oh yeah, I recycle everything.
So ceramics is not for the weak.
No.
You have to haul 50-pound bags of raw materials and wear like respirators and lift stuff and
lift stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like kiln shelves are heavy.
Yeah.
And you have to scrape them and you have to paint them and
yes, you taught me how to do all that. I try to teach my students how to do all that, but it's like not enough time in the day. But that's a good skill that you need to know how to do all that.
And you just have to enjoy the process.
Yes.
You know?
Joy, can you not tell from Kelly, like, how much she enjoys the process? Like, she has always been, you know what I remember about Kelly as a teacher? Okay. Oh my gosh. So one thing I still remember is, I actually can still remember seeing you on the wheel at JMU. We're like all around it, and she's throwing, and she's talking in her calm Zen namaste voice, and she's just like, yeah, guys, your clay is like a clay baby.
Oh.
You have to treat it like a baby. You have to treat it. You have to like wrap it. You have to. It's like a living, breathing baby. You have to take care of it. And I'll never that has always stuck with me because it's so true. Like you forget it, bone dry, dead, recycle it. Oh, it's too wet. We gotta let it breathe a little bit.
You gotta pay attention to it.
Yes.
And when you experience really good pot, the history of that, you don't even know what it is because it doesn't come with its own narrative. Like, hi, I'm a pie. What are I made? But somebody paid attention. You were saying attention to detail. You know, there are 1,000 points of definition with any, object. And when you're working with clay, it does require a little, you can't forget about it. If you neglect it, then it becomes difficult, like anything,
Yes. Like your analogies for clay, I just loved. And when we have critique, I feel like the one thing I catch myself saying that I'm like, I think of you every time I say it, is when you pick a pot up, because the kids have their bone dry pots. We do critique before firing.
Nice.
And some are still wet, so they could make adjustments if they want to, but some are like bone dry. So I'm like, guys, do not touch. First, don't touch anybody else's artwork, but if that's not the Kelly, that's me. Don't touch anybody else's artwork. If you do, 2 hands at the bottom like a baby. Like, treat it like a baby. Like, hold it. Be gentle. Don't hold it by that handle.
Well, it's
that
just
handle's
like
gonna rip right off.
when you're making food, like you make it, you prepare it with love, it tastes better.
It does taste better. Like McDonald's, that's not made with love. Well, maybe it is. I shouldn't say
Sometimes
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Sometimes it's made with a lot of love.
Yeah.
And it tastes really good. But
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things you ask why I was drawn to clay, or why is anyone drawn to clay? I mean, it has the most amazing transformative qualities, I mean, when you think about porcelain, why is it so white? It's really, really white because it's the top of a mountain. It's pure.
I don't know these things, and I don't teach these
and
things.
it's mined by people who are like, I'm going to get to the top of that mountain and I'm going to dig that pure white clay. And there's something about when you look at a porcelain piece, it's like pristine, almost like you're standing on a mountaintop and you're like...
It's so clean.
Yes.
Should I need to use porcelain? Is it that?
Porcelain's tough, though. It's really...
I've never touched porcelain. I've never thrown porcelain.
It's a very sexy clay, but
Ooh.
it's very... like, you have to have a real command of porcelain, I think.
Be the boss.
It's
That's
hard.
one thing I tell me. Be the boss of the clay.
It's very high in silica, so it is nice to have it very thin because it's almost transparent. But in contrast to porcelain, you have like ball clay or earthenware clay. So this is the clay that has had a conversation with porcelain as it's running down the mountain, and it's picking up other clays, and it's moving as the earth is moving, and it's settling by a riverbank. And what happens at a riverbank? You're like, you're swimming,
Yeah.
you're cooking,
Totes.
you're playing, you're working. So ceramics that are terracotta and earthenware have a much different, like, inherent feeling to them than, at least in my perspective, than something that's pure, like a pure porcelain. So
Okay, I think we're getting some comments here that I agree with, and I think we need to stay on this topic. Ronald Bowen, thanks for tuning in. That's my brother-in-law's brother. He says, this is interesting to hear and watch. And Trish is saying, this lady is awesome. Molding Mother Earth. Molly, what are you making though?
Molly, what are you doing?
I'm making some open cylinders, and I'm going to make some sculptures later on. You'll have to stay tuned to the Instagram. I'll share that as I make them later. But so Kelly Kerr is here. She's my JMU ceramics teacher, and she was just talking about the porcelain being at the very top. Oh, a great teacher like you. I love Kelly. No, so I get asked a lot of questions about like what kind of clay I use, and I'm just like white stoneware. So, and somebody actually asked a question about if you use white stoneware, what cone should you bisque to? I bisque everything to 04, unless I'm raccooing, then 06. But like, can you, because you're so amazing, can you talk more about like what is a terracotta? What's an earthenware? What's a stoneware?
Oh gosh, we're gonna get technical.
Yeah, get technical.
Well, okay, so all clay is amazing, and back to this, like, why did you pick clay? Because it can actually transform its material. It undergoes what's called quartz conversion, which when you fire it to a certain temperature, it can no longer be slaked down. It's no longer
It's
clay.
vitrified.
Right. So it is, if
On this
fired
earth
to,
forever.
Yeah, fired to a very high temperature, it is stoneware, which means that it will be around until the end of time.
Like kids are like, can I go smash this? I'm like, no.
So we would edit in the kiln room before we would fire these things with this idea that you don't necessarily, I mean, I know it's special to you, but, does everything need to be fired? And, you just have to have that responsibility. But, there are inherent, definitions of, porcelain, stoneware, low fire ceramics would be more like terracotta and earthenwares, which are perfect for things like flower pots. Maybe they just need to go under maybe one firing as opposed to a bisque and then a high fire. So that's my answer to that.
I'm like, wait, I need to, okay, so that's another thing. Shout out to Mud Mama Studio. I just did my first ever workshop away in Mud Mama Studio in Hickory, North Carolina. Had me down there. It was so sweet, so nice. And I loved it. But they were telling me how they will do these kids' classes and just do one firing.
Yeah, single firing. Yeah, I mean, I think you can glaze.
If this is stoneware, so I use a stoneware. I bisque to 04. I glaze to 6.
Right.
Cheers. I went in on that. Cheers. So glad you're here. Kelly's here. Yes. So I bisque to 04, glaze fire to 6. And you're saying with this, if my nephew's dinosaur, if y'all tune in, my nephew made a dinosaur. Could I?
Awesome. It's over there. No, it's perfect. Kids.
Could he put the glaze on it and do one fire?
Yeah.
Tell me.
I think on a raw body, a terra sigillata is very nice because you can layer it on, and something like that's really difficult. It's delicate and complicated. It is nice to put something like a terra sigillata slip over it.
Even if it's white?
It's going to create skin for it. Even if the clay is white or the slip is white.
The clay is white.
Yeah.
Put another terra.
Yeah. So terra sigillata.
I need another lesson, Kelly. I need to take your class again.
Well, and I bet your nephew will be very forgiving and excited to experiment because that's how kids are.
Shoot, he would just take that and put crayons on it or markers.
And you can bisque it and just, paint it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with it. You just need to make sure it.
Has Kelly how old is he? Has he thrown?
My son Monty is 10 years old, and yes, he has thrown. And he's,
addicted or what?
No, because I don't want him to get near my stuff.
And schools don't have it.
MySpace. No, he will be ready. People get excited and they're like, I want to throw, and you first have to learn how to wedge.
Yes.
And then you have to learn how to center.
Yes.
And then you have to just kind of, take it a step at a time. So, but yes, my son has fun with it, but every 10-year-old boy after 7 minutes, he's like, okay, what are we gonna do now? So I hope that,
and Andrew, he's a potter. We have so much to talk about. So you're also, what do you call him? Your partner?
Yes. Andrew and I have been together,
forever.
13 years, yeah.
Forever. And he's a potter.
Well, he is just like a Renaissance person.
Oh,
he's one of those people that you get so frustrated because you work really hard to do something, and he's like, what are you doing? And then he sits down and he does it, and it's he's so pragmatic and thoughtful, and takes his time. And meanwhile, I'm slapping stuff together. He's definitely the turtle to my rabbit.
Really? But look at you. You're so zen and patient and delicate.
No, I'm channeling Andrew.
Are you?
But yeah,
is he watching? He's not on Instagram, probably, if you're not.
I don't know. I think he's taking care of our son. I think we might have homework or something.
Because what grade is 10? Don't tell me. That's 4th, 3rd?
Yeah, it's 4th grade. Yeah, so basically the biggest challenge with my 4th grader is keeping him off of his Xbox.
Such is life. One of my things in my class is if you were the first one cleaned up, and if your hands are clean and you are on your cell phone, shame. And really I'm going to take off work ethic because we have a whole studio to clean and help get a sponge.
I mean, it is what it is. He's having fun.
But yeah, he's a 10-year-old too.
He's a 10-year-old. But yesterday was so beautiful. We were just go outside. And
That's a question I get too. Like, what do you like to do around Richmond? Because you're Richmond.
Gosh. Well, on the weekends, I don't go anywhere. I spend so much time interacting with people throughout the week that I'm just kind of a homebody.
Well, where's the studio that you won't let Monty near? Is it at your house?
It's in our basement.
Oh.
Yeah. And
Stop.
But I use the word studio very loosely. I am re-emerging into the maker world. So I spent.
Is that the official declaration?
Yes.
The Maker Kelly
Everyone.
2019.
Hold the press.
Hold the press.
I'm about to release.
Oh, look, somebody said, what are we playing on Pandora? Kelly's request, and I love
Buena Vista Social Club. So.
Listen to it.
Yeah.
Do you ever salsa?
No.
Havana 59 downtown. They do
But-
salsa night on Thursdays.
Oh my gosh, if I had time.
Let's
I
go.
would
One
do
night
it.
let's
I
make that our
will.
meetup.
See, I can't say no to Molly.
So one thing that Kelly is in charge of is NSYNCA coming to Richmond. NSYNCA coming to Richmond. It's the Clay Conference coming to Richmond in 2020. Like NSYNCA is this Clay Conference that travels from city to city. So I've been to one in Pittsburgh, Portland, and I never heard of these until I started teaching at Trinity 5 years ago. And they're like, yeah, it's this awesome Clay Conference. So I went, and now it's coming to Richmond next year. So I'm not going this year because it's coming here next year. And Kelly is putting together, first of all of it, but she reached out to me and like a handful of JMU, James Madison University. She reached out to us, and there's a whole group of us that are going to do a JMU alumni ceramics exhibition. What are we calling this?
Look out, world.
Should we be like, I bleed purple clay?
Yeah, we're going to be unleashed.
Unleashed!
Yeah, that's the campaign for JMU
Is it?
right now. Yeah.
We're unleashed.
Yeah,
Look
give
at us.
back to your alma mater. Help those students who can't pay for school.
Help
Get a
them! Help them!
scholarship. So yes, NSYNCA is the National Council for Education on the Ceramic Arts. It is the largest conference that has to do with clay and making.
Ever.
Clay education.
And she's in charge of it coming to Richmond.
Well, I am the on-site liaison, so my job, there's a whole talented team of people who work for NSYNCA based out of Colorado. And
I like how you explained that NSYNCA is like a pop-up.
it is.
So
It
they
is.
do the same idea and they pop up at a city.
So they pick a city every year and they meet, and 6,500, like 6,000 people will come to that city and participate in these 4 days of events at the convention center. It'll be at the Richmond, the Greater Richmond Convention Center here in Richmond. And what my job is to work with the local creative community and create opportunities for people to go out into Richmond and enjoy Richmond and see art in Richmond. So that's what my on-site liaison role is. So we're working with galleries and exhibition spaces. There can be a pop-up exhibition around NSYNCA anywhere.
Anywhere in Richmond.
Yeah.
If you want to host a
Like
ceramic
4
pop-up,
days, people will come
it's
into
from all
that
over the
space.
world. Who comes to NSYNCA?
Educators, scholars, makers, teachers. Traditionally, there's always, or mostly, in most cases, there's an institution of higher education that kind of partners with NSYNCA, and so I work for the School of the Arts at Virginia Commonwealth University, and for those of you that live in Richmond know that Richmond, the city, and VCU dovetail really nicely, and there's a nice synergy there. And
Well,
so,
Richmond wouldn't be what it is today without VCU. Anybody that's been in Richmond for the past 20, 30, anybody who's been in Richmond for a long time knows that VCU has made Richmond a whole new place, a better place, welcoming and artsy. VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University, is the #1 public art school in the country.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a great art school
It's great.
that's embedded in an urban research university. So what does that mean? It means that in Richmond, at VCU, the arts are the pillar for the university. We are the #1 program along with nursing anesthesiology. So art and nursing anesthesiology. It's actually MFA sculpture that's #1, but nursing anesthesiology is also a #1
That's
program.
crazy.
So, you know,
I did not know that.
Richmond is a community that accepts the fact that innovation is important, period. Which is probably inherent to the city itself. You know, we have like a very controversial history.
Yeah.
And we have extremely supportive people in the community, and we're very forward thinking, and we're very diverse, and the arts make that happen, but the corporate community also makes that happen by supporting the arts and education.
Yes.
So ceramics with Ansika is not just about making, it's also about art education. So I'm going to be leaning on Molly over the next year
I'm
to
so
be
excited.
my K through 12 point person here in Richmond to make sure that we are representing and stewarding the next generation of ceramic artists. So no pressure or anything.
No pressure. Would that be just of Richmond, or just anyone that's K-12 can reach out to me and let me know that their kid wants to?
Well, I think it's going to be part of our Richmond on-site experience.
It's like Richmond schools, like.
Yeah, we'll
Perfect.
find a central location along Broad Street where we can exhibit what the amazing educators in our community are doing with our students, and
Should be an educator and educatee, like the teachers. We get the teachers of these schools, or just the students. No, K-12.
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We have so much. I'm so excited. Somebody says,
We don't
how
have
do
that
we
much.
become volunteers for Ansika? Pick me.
Me.
And that's Trish. I love you, Trish. She's amazing.
Trish, give your information to Molly,
I've got it.
and then we will put you to work.
I can't wait to volunteer, and I'm hoping to present. My coworker and I really, after we went to the last Ansika, we were like, we have to present. Like, that'd be so fun. And part of me wants to do a throw in with Molly.
Yeah,
Like,
do it.
somehow-
do an Instagram takeover.
We'll do that, but like in one of the sessions, like sit down, have my wheel, have somebody ask questions, because a lot of people are asking, you know, how do you center? How do you do this? How do you? So to have this in live where you can come and throw, but I've got to present that. But and then the other one, my coworker and I were thinking, because we teach the curriculum at Trinity, and we do it together. I teach the beginners, teach them they've never thrown. I teach them the basics. She teaches the IB. We have an IB program.
Nice.
So the IB curriculum and
Monty was recommended for that.
Stop it! It's I hope he comes to Trinity.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
It's the best art. It's the best studio I've ever seen in real life.
Well,
Just saying.
we'll talk.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk. But so she and I really wanted to present, and I was like, all right, well, sure, we could present the curriculum that we use. But I remember at JMU in one of my art education classes, we all had to draw out of a hat if you were a low income, middle income, or high income school. And I remember I got like a middle income, and you have to like stretch your budget and like see what you can get. And for 8 years I taught at a low income school. I had like $2 per student for the whole year. And then now at Trinity, I'm like at this private school, and the budget is like, I don't even know the budget, it's awesome. And so we're like, well, how many people can relate? We want to make it relatable. So we want to do craft and curriculum teaching clay.
There you go.
And it can be all these like rotate, anchor your elbow. And also, like, I have my students make websites, and she
Well,
teaches the vocabulary of art.
I do like that you are thinking about more than just making, because every artist gets to the point in their career where they have to be like, okay, I make this stuff, now what?
Yeah.
So you really have to start thinking about what you're going to do with the work and how you're going to market it and how you're going to market yourself. It's huge.
Well, and we have a good comment here, so I'll come back to what I was going to say about ABC Pottery. Blair Clemo at VCU, he was on the cover of Ceramics Monthly.
Yeah.
And that's major. He was on the cover of Ceramics Monthly. He's the rainbow guy. He drops slips in rainbow, and he does different patterns, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
ABC Pottery, I think is his name.
Yeah.
All right, I've never been to Ansika, but planning to come in 2020 from Harrisonburg.
Yay.
Can you give a summary of Ansika and activities / what to expect?
Yes. So the Ansika board will meet for a full 5 days in June. And all we will do is talk about the programming for the Ansika conference. To come
Like,
in
people have to apply to present.
You do. There's a pool of applicants.
That
and
hasn't
then,
happened yet, right?
No. The first exhibition deadline is for concurrent concurrent exhibitions, and that is April 17th. So you can go on the website and drop down to the exhibitions and then get that. So concurrent exhibitions will happen all around the city in these available spaces, and it's your responsibility as the artist that's put that proposal together to then, once the exhibition team that I work with here in Richmond takes those proposals, selects like maybe 50, maybe we have 60, 70 spaces, then we will find the best fit for your exhibition.
Oh, that's nice.
Based on, is it tile work? Does it need to be on the wall? Is it large scale? Is it functional?
Oh, that's nice. Y'all do all that.
So we do.
So that's more for artists. If you're an artist out there and you want to submit your ceramic work,
yes,
you would submit a portfolio, I guess, and then they pick the venue based on your artwork around Richmond.
The proposal is very comprehensive. So when you download it from the website, it'll give you all the things that you need to produce in order to submit your proposal by April 17th. So the venue-generated exhibitions, which are maybe galleries that have their own pool of artists that maybe work in clay, those deadlines are in June. But when we meet as a board, people who are much smarter than me when it comes to clay make decisions that will kind of create the itinerary for the conference as far as who the visiting artists are that are doing the on-site workshops. There'll be workshops on, how do you teach something like clay in 2019 when
what I really like about it is you get this brochure. They make it online first, and then they give you a hard copy, and you can basically go down and be like, okay, at 9 a.m. there's this class, and this class. Ooh, and I get my highlighter and I circle like everyone, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't go to them all. There's so many. I have to pick. Do I want to go in ballroom A or ballroom B? Because that's showing me how to make candles, and that's showing me how to ship my work. And you pick your menu of where you want to go, and the all day Saturday and Friday are different options of classes you can attend. And then the whole time there's like a showroom of tools you can buy and go and shop your dipping grips and your speedball and your diamond core. And then around the local city, oh look, there's Lindsay. Hi. She says hi, guys. We were talking about you earlier, Augie.
What up, Wear Clay?
Wear Clay. If you don't follow Wear Clay, what are you following?
Okay, so back to these girls when they were in college.
Oh yeah, so Kelly, my college professor, my first ever memory of a ceramics teacher is Kelly. And my good friend Lindsay Augustine, who is the maker behind Wear Clay.
Yeah.
So
you guys were so much fun. I think, were you roommates?
No.
Okay, well you might as well have been.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like you guys were attached at the hip. So,
That's so cute.
I can't completely remember, because you were having fun as a student. I was having fun as a teacher. I was like, this is a one-year gig.
That's what I love hearing, that you were like, fun. Because I thought, man, I was not a very serious student. I didn't know how to trim when I left.
Well, I mean, look at you now.
Look at me now. That's my hook to all y'all. You can always learn. You were so fun, Kelly, exclamation, says Lindsay. Another memory, so my one memory was Kelly talking to us, and Augie, you chime in, but her talking to us as treating our clay is there we are. Hey guys, we're back.
Molly's friends are like, what's up, Molly?
What happened? Oh look, my dad says, hey Augie. So my dad's still there. Augie's still there. Oh, wait, Augie says, made a shocker statue. LOL. Alright, we're not gonna talk about that because my students watch and we're not gonna get there.
Ow.
So, my memory of Kelly was that my friends, my roommates and I feel like Augie was definitely there. We had
was this a
taco
party?
bar. Yes, we had a party.
I came to your party. It was really
and we
fun.
invited you to our party.
Yeah, and I was like, okay.
And you came and we loved it. We loved that you came. It was so fun.
We became.
And to this day, I still love a party. In my classes, guess what I'm so excited about? My advanced class, I always love a party. We have a class party at the end of the semester, and everybody signs up to bring something, and then the day comes, and everybody's like, oh, I forgot. And it's like, oh, you're lame. So this time, everybody's Venmoing me $10.
Nice.
And we are going to have a chicken and waffle party. But the kicker, and to make it ceramic related, is that everybody is making a set of 6 So 2 students are making a set of 6 plates for us to eat our chicken and waffles on.
Ooh.
2 students are making a set of 6 bowls for the mac and cheese that I'm gonna make.
Nice.
And so we're making this whole chicken and waffle, but it's all functional, and they have to make our dinner. We're gonna put a white tablecloth. We're gonna
Then you get to eat.
We're gonna fine dine. We're gonna fine dine.
I mean, that's a big part of it. You're
Yes.
making vessels, and you're thinking I'm thinking this is kind of shaping up to be like a beer stein.
Ooh, yeah.
As
Okay.
I drink out of
Cheers,
Molly's-
Frank. He's
Yeah.
watching. He's on here.
No, you have a very supportive family.
You're so sweet.
That's really important.
It is important.
You have these creative children, and you want what's best for them. And parents will say, "What kind of job are you gonna get with an art degree?"
What? Is that something they say? They all say that.
I will say, you go to college to learn skills for a career, not for a job.
Yes!
So the things that you learn in various classes, you take away this confidence in your own innovation and ability to do something.
Problem solve.
Exactly.
And there's something to be said for how to just draft an email to a professor.
Yeah.
Or a teacher. I
Proofread.
get some emails that are like, hey dude, here. And I'm like,
Did you just call me dude?
yeah.
Yeah.
It gets me. And I'm like,
It's a no.
no.
Well, when I was teaching, email was just
Oh
starting
yeah,
to be a
Facebook
thing.
started in college.
Well, and I wasn't using email a lot. And this was 96, 97 when I was a TA. And I have an office. I have office hours. You can come to my office and talk
Get
to me.
in person.
Yeah, but instead you're gonna email and be like, I couldn't make it. And I'm thinking okay, well then I'm gonna give you an absence, But if you come, okay, so all you students out there,
Yes.
go
Yes.
and talk to your
Yes.
teachers. Go and talk to them. Show up, and you don't even really have to know what you want to talk about, but take an opportunity to glean and converse and have a dialogue.
Show that you care.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
It makes a big difference.
So take advantage.
That's
of
a
that
good tip.
opportunity.
All right, cheers. Again, because I just love it. I'm so excited Kelly's here. Thank you so much for coming.
So back to Ensika.
And Sinka.
What you can expect is seeing the latest in the ceramic technology, emerging artists.
3D printing.
There's a lot of 3D printing going on, but I appreciate the fact that I'm going to see some of the best makers in the field. And I'm not a potter, and one of the reasons I decided not to go to the utilitarian route is that I spent time with people who came from a planet where everybody makes pots, and so they are just inherently talented, and it comes very natural, and so I can make okay pots, but my interest in clay is much more sculptural.
So how would you start a sculpture then? And somebody said, we'll work tips for beginners, question mark. So excited. Augie says so excited.
Okay, wheelwork tips for beginners. I would say wedge yourself up 50 balls of clay.
Wow.
And if you wanted to start with just a basic small coffee cup, make yourself 50 of those. And out of the 50, you're going to have 5 really awesome takeaways. Because that's what it takes, is repetition.
That's why I'm having
over and over. Because not every pot you make is going to be a keeper.
So we're going to get that S-Crag.
Yeah. And then, I'm not focusing on these pots.
And you recycled all of them, which I was over.
Because they're not worthy.
They're not worthy. They are, because also, though, I do like to say, I'm kind of glad that I have those pieces fired and on this planet forever from different timelines.
Yes, definitely.
But I'm gonna write on the bottom of this, and it's gonna be yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely.
You haven't thrown in years, so have a pot that you've thrown.
It's been ages missing.
Keep it. Keep it. All right, I'm gonna swipe my hands, and y'all tell me where you're from, because I've seen Argentina chime in. I've seen a lot of places chime in. So tell us where you're from if you're watching. I'm gonna wash my hands. We only have about a couple minutes, I think. Or no, wait, we still have 10 minutes.
That's right.
So excited.
There's really interesting.
I'm just excited to mark where we're from too. It's fun. So yeah, Kelly has, look at that beautiful cylinder. So my students are starting with cylinders.
Yeah,
They
always.
started with hand building.
Yeah.
Mexico. They started with all the hand building, and that kind of taught them like how clay dries and everything.
All the hand building, how it has memory.
Of Lancaster, PA, New Jersey, Pittsburgh.
Well, there's a lot of people.
So many from all over. I love it. And then when we get on the wheel for the first time, we focus on cylinders. Because they're the hardest. And then once we do cylinders, then they get how to make a bowl. You just spin it a little faster and let that inside hand push, and you got a bowl. New Hampshire.
It's basic stuff. The cylinder.
But the cylinder's hard. Hickory! I miss y'all in Hickory. That was so fun. I miss that. I want to do more teaching workshops. Weekend workshops.
Yeah.
If you want me to do your studio, holler at me. That was
do.
so fun.
Who has her enthusiasm?
She's
so positive. It's important.
I love you
in a
positive.
teacher.
Agree. Does she sign it like she's famous?
Oh, yeah.
4 above 4 inches. I still that from Kelly. 4 above 4 inches. I share and still that from Kelly. That's what all you said.
I don't know what that
And
means.
work in beauty. Work in
Oh,
beauty.
not in a swill hole. Yeah, that was pretty much our... Okay, so before I started teaching, I was a graduate student, and then I was an undergraduate, and we had a great teacher, Brooke Levan. There's not enough time to talk about.
I love it.
She's a good teacher.
I can't wait to meet all these people that she
Yes.
knows. Because she
So many of these people who were in my class, while Brooke was our teacher at JMU, will be participating in this exhibition around JMU alumni. And, you know, they've gone off to do really amazing things all over the country, from like establishing a commune and working in a commune and what it means to be a Potter at that level, to teaching in higher education.
Or high school.
Yeah, or high school, which is the pipeline for higher education.
Which I don't think I ever want to do higher education.
Yeah, that's cool.
I don't know.
You know, you certainly don't have to. I mean, it has its pros and its cons. You know,
Yeah.
you're around all these very incredible people, and they're doing, but
And they're all in Strikes Monthly.
well, there's a lot of, rightly so, ambition, and there's a lot of politics in higher education, and ultimately it's all about what's best for the student. And
Isn't that in
sometimes-
every education?
Yeah.
What's best for the students?
So you have to kind of walk that line. But when I was a student at JMU, I had the opportunity to work with some really amazing artists, and I don't know, something clicked, and we all just kind of stuck around doing it. Now, I didn't stay in clay. Okay, Molly's gonna go freshen up, but I ended up getting my degrees, and then I transitioned into what you would call maybe administration in higher education. So I managed I know this is fascinating, so I'm just gonna hold down the fort while Molly's gone, but so I ended up working for donor relations with donors. So a lot of what I learned in clay, which is attention to detail, and that dovetailed with my service experience in working in restaurants, fit very well when it came to dealing with donors and alumni and in a development and advancement setting. So that's how I ended up at the School of Arts as the director of events. I work with the development team, I work for the dean. We get the messaging out in ways that we can create the best environment and the most opportunities for our students, which is what it's really all about. And we have amazing supporters in Richmond and beyond. So yeah, not everybody's cut out for higher ed, but
Who do you find are your biggest supporters? Like financially giving back to the educations of art?
I think that the most capacity and potential to give back are those alumni that are going out and doing really incredible things. Maybe they're in LA and they're producers for animation like DreamWorks, and so these are our students that were animators, filmmakers. You know, they're working in sound and movement. We have graphic design alumni who are working, and they have firms all over the country, and they have clients like, you know, Goodyear and Coca-Cola.
Did any of them have anything to do with the Super Bowl? Somebody asked my favorite Super Bowl commercial. I didn't really watch.
Yeah, the Brand Center at VCU had quite a few alumni.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think about internships? I just put out on my Instagram, if anybody wants to help me be a videographer intern, holler at me, because I have a lot of video ideas I need help with.
I think, and this is what I know for certain.
Tell me.
In the position that I'm in, I know that everyone wants young talent to help.
Yes.
And young talent want to be put to work. But in between there's administrative work that has to happen. And unless you have an infrastructure that can receive the need, like I need to have interns, I have this desire to have interns in my company, I will pay because I feel strongly about that. You need to pay them. And then you have all the students that are applying for these. I mean, that's a big job to deliver and coordinate like the possibilities for internships and then vetting who the interns are, and it's a very wide spectrum. So some universities are really good at it. I think that we're getting better at it at VCU Arts. It's definitely a need, but before internships, scholarships are more important. Like we need
scholarships.
we need to be able to help these kids fund their education so
Yes.
that they're not like working 5 nights a week.
Yes.
And barely able to
Well,
eat.
and like, what should an internship be? Because I've had interns, Ophi and Kendall. I love them. Ophi has helped me in my office. She's my office intern, and she helps me with all the like paperwork, business stuff.
Yeah.
And I want to expand her to more. And then Kendall is in my studio, and he helps me, like, he'll help me prepare for Third with Molly, and he'll help me if I've unloaded some stuff and I need some sanding or packaging up or just cleaning, and he's awesome, and I love them both. But yeah, you want to make sure that they're getting what they want and getting what you want.
Well, it's all about giving somebody else a leg up,
Yeah.
I mean, everyone who progresses in their career, like most people do it because you have someone that's like, hey, yeah, I'll help.
Right,
I'll
they
make a
were like, I'll
reference.
help.
You need a place to stay while you're here, or it's all about community and support.
Yes.
So yes, I think internships are fantastic.
I love that. I think that's so. You had asked me, you had confirmed I throw with bats. You throw with bats, or you didn't?
Yeah, I threw right off the wheel
See, I
head.
don't like that.
But I don't work at the scale that Molly works at. Like her powder room downstairs has a beautiful like white vessel that's like I want to say it's waste paper basket, but it's not.
It's
It,
not
like, holds
waste.
your linen.
It's not for waste. It's for the paper.
Yeah.
It's for the hand towels.
Yeah, and I'm like, I need to throw a hand towel basket.
You
So
know what?
I
Truth
would
be
use
told,
this.
that pot has a huge crack in the bottom.
Yeah. So it's perfect for hand towels.
It's perfect. It's perfect for hand towels. I loved having you over. I loved like reconnecting because even I saw you the other night at the Nsika event.
Well, we have a lot to catch up.
We have so much to catch up on, but you're local and I'm local, and so now that you've done a Third with Molly, and we're getting waves from people. There's Argentina. Hi, thank you all for watching.
Yeah,
And we're
sorry
at
if
the
we were redundant.
No, I think it's so fun. And I love the knowledge and the authenticity. Is that the word?
Authentic.
Authentic.
Being authentic.
Like to Clay. Like you're the real deal. I'm like, let's pop art. Let's do gold. Let's like, I don't know. I love that
wait
you
a
know.
second. Back up.
1 minute
You're
left.
the
my
real
mom said.
deal.
You
She's the real deal too.
You have 1 minute.
Hi. Okay, 60 seconds.
Do you think I'm the real deal, even though I'm?
I do.
I don't really feel like I'm the real deal. Because I always thought that the real deal was like soda fire, wood fire.
The real deal
brown.
is wake up every day, think about how you're going to be creative and work in a creative field.
I do think about that.
You're working, like there's nothing more real about it.
And Nsika is all about the education of ceramic arts, and I try to share that because there was a moment when I thought it was for everybody but me, and clay is for everybody.
It is. It's very down to earth. It's a
Down to earth.
material.
You get messy and it's fun. So I want to cheers you.